Okay, we're here today on RealAgriculture.com. We are fortunate to be sitting here today with the CEO of Viterra, Mayo Schmidt. Welcome today, Mayo.
Thank you very much.
You just talked about ABB. I've heard you mention before the Ukraine. What do you say to the people that are maybe a little bit more pessimistic, and they say, "Oh yeah, we've seen this before, right? The highs and the lows of the SAS pool days." What do you say to people that sort of come with that maybe more pessimistic attitude?
Yeah, well, and sure, one has to deal with that because, historically in the management team that was here earlier, of course, had different challenges and had a different strategy than the current management team. I think our strategy and our efforts over 10 years have been proven out. The synergies have been very strong. All the transactions have been accretive, and which i.e. means that they've created greater value. So two parts together are stronger than each part individually. And as we look forward, it's clear to us that with the trend line today, that the 9 billion people that are going to be on the planet in 2050, which is another 3 billion more than today, it's going to stress the food system. And we think it's a great investment to be involved in the foundation of these businesses: grain collection, seed technology, chemical fertilizer to, of course, promote greater production, that we are in the right business at the right time. And frankly, we've been very, very disciplined. And the difference between us and many companies with a commodity focus is that we maintain what I refer to as a fortress balance sheet. We keep our debt level very well managed, and it currently resides around 30%. It's been as low as 19%, so we don't over leverage the company. We look at the opportunities we have. We're strong in execution. We're diligent about our analysis and our due diligence before we enter a business. We do our homework, and at the end of the day, we're buying great businesses with great assets and strong management teams, and it's a great recipe. And the thing I like about it, I'm excited about, is there's no end in sight. The opportunities for Viterra are almost endless, should one continue as we do to keep maintain a view of a fortress balance sheet with the discipline to do the right things and our responsibilities.
So obviously the world of agriculture is very global.
Yeah.
Whether it's trait development or it's drought that happens in Australia affects here, very, very global. We've recently gone through a situation, obviously, with flax that's caused a lot of discussions as far as adventitious presence. Do you think those sort of issues are in relation to trade are going to become more apparent, or are we going to gradually become where we have a sort of a global understanding of GM food?
Yeah, well, I think the global understanding is under development, but I think we're a good distance away from stability in that sense. And I think that we as a population globally are going to continue to be focused on food safety and food security. And I think that is going to be the number one focus for agriculture for the next 10 or 15 years. And so when you think about GMOs, it comes to any business that you operate anywhere in the world is going to be faced with challenges. It's how we react to those challenges and how quickly and responsibly we act that's going to be critical to how we're viewed and the credibility that we have as a supplier of products. So when challenges do happen, and they will, and I don't see any end to those challenges. In fact, from a food safety point of view, in the world dealing with bacteria, it's going to become more of an issue. And Viterra has developed a plan and an attitude about meeting and going and exceeding the requirements of food safety in all areas of our business. And we put a lot of effort into that. So I do think it's going to continue to be an issue, and one that is going to grow as time goes on.
And sort of in relation to the issue around GM, never before has agriculture received so much attention from mainstream media. And whether that was the bullishness to commodity prices a couple of years ago, or really the attention to food and the role that agriculture, of course, plays in that. There's some fair discussions. There's also some very unfair discussions as it relates to the work that farmers are doing. What role does a company like Viterra have in sort of making sure that people hear the right message from agriculture?
Well, you make a good point. In fact, in this month's Forbes magazine, a large seed provider is on the front cover, and inside there's discussions about the dairy industry. And as you think about agriculture, which really hardly merited a mention anywhere in the newspaper, has been on the front page quite often in the last couple of years, which we thought, in fact, would be the case 2 years ago, which is why our strategies have played out the way they have. We have a tremendous responsibility, both to think about how we're going to produce food for the world, the quality of it and the security of it, and the challenges associated with that. Statistics say there's 74 million new mouths to feed every year, and so food production is going to be challenged. So we're meeting that challenge when we're focused on seed technology and our investments, as well as the quality aspect.
For sure. And finally, you're the CEO of Viterra, you're the visionary. Where do you see Viterra in 10 years? What does the business look like?
Well, Viterra has been on a track to grow responsibly and to focus on the fundamentals. And as we think about our business, you will see us involved in the grain collection systems, whether it continues to be here in Canada, Australia. We'll look at other markets such as the U.S. and South America, and Europe's of interest to us, the Ukraine, which you mentioned. And it ties together in grain collections to serve a growing population that have deficits of food supply. And then on top of that, we build the seed, the chemical, the fertilizer, complemented by processing businesses. You've seen us enter the oil crush business. We're the largest industrial oat miller in the world today. We're very active in feed manufacturing. Milling businesses are very interesting to us for the future. So you'll see what is today a balanced portfolio of businesses, not overweighted to processing, not overweighted to fertilizer manufacturing, but a nice balance of diversified companies that start from the seed all the way to a non-branded product. We're not a branded food company, but we certainly intend to be an ingredient supplier to the world, one of a much larger scale in the years to come.
Well, Mr. Schmidt, Mayo, thank you very, very much for joining us today, and I wish you all the best luck in the future.
Absolutely, thank you.